is listening to Soul. Give her a splooge. Gregg and JoJo and Gregg, Joe and Gregg, Gregg and Joe. I can't come up with any lyrics, so just start the fucking show, bro. And let's hope our two guineas aren't a no-show. So now let's go.
Bada boom, bada boom. The Swol Life presents the Gregg and Joe Show.
Look, I'm holding
Make America swole again.
Swole, baby. You know what's funny? I actually like this one. Well, I like both. I got the other one right here. That's when I did the video the other day.
That was
Actually,
the one you
I
had
think
in
I
the
accidentally
gym.
cut it out. Yeah, the one where I was going to the gym.
Yep.
Because I had to cut it. It was in the dark, so that's why I went from dark to light. But I was talking about that because I was, I take the Swole before I go to work out. But this one is the clean energy one. I actually really like this.
Yep.
It's got like
And
a
there he
coke thing in there or whatever. I loved it.
Swole Chad right there wearing the fucking frames. I tell you though, Greg, these guys at swollife.com, and it's SWOLLYFE. Want to give a quick shout out to Lawrence Lowe. He's the owner of the company that I've been dealing with. The shades, look at this thing. The fucking case itself is really fucking good.
Wait, I got them in the other room. The shades, they're good.
Right? These are fucking solid fucking shades, man. These are, like I said, like the bars. So if you guys are looking to get a cool pair of shades and it's got the
especially if you're gonna go skiing, they look perfect.
Yeah, it could be like Susie Chapstick. Remember Susie Chapstick,
dude? Oh my God, Susie Chapstick.
I used to touch myself to that commercial when I was a young kid.
What about the one with what was the one with the toothpaste? Oh, the pearl white. The girl licks her chin.
Girl drops.
My mouth has never been. Yes, my mouth.
One of my first turn-ons. Right?
Oh my God, she was like orgasm.
And my mother, they would show all of these commercials during the soap operas. So I'd be like, we had the small fucking apartment. It's nowhere to hide. So when I was a little kid, I'd just be like playing with my fucking soldiers or cars while my mom was watching All My Children and all of that. And all of a sudden, a fucking little horny fucking greaseball on the fucking carpet looking up at the TV. Oh, God. She's looking down at me now saying, you fucking filthy bastard. Yeah, all the broads on the fucking soap opera too, Ma. Yeah. Susan Lucci, especially.
I remember all the soap opera had hot girls. Always.
Oh, all of them. Yeah.
My mother
even the old ones.
Do you remember the ones in the 60s, like Dark Shadows? My mother used to watch that shit too. You remember Dark Shadows?
It was the vampire in there.
Barnabas Collins.
Barnabas Collins. I couldn't think of it. Thank you. I was saying, what the fuck was his name? And then nice, good fucking job remembering that name. Yes, Barnabas Collins. That was it was kind of like a horror movie soap opera. It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but thank you all you guys for coming on. Gregg, I got your buddy came on again.
There he is, the same guy. He'll switch names later. He's gonna switch names and say the same shit.
Well said, yes, man.
He should really come on the show.
Listen. Anybody is welcome.
Won't do it.
He won't do it. There he is, my boy Hoog. Sent me some new tunes. I gotta get these songs on videos and stuff because he's sending me great shit, and I just gotta get like some kind of little highlight video stuff and put it on so you can hear it. So I just want to say thank you.
He makes that music, Joe. Does he?
Yes.
Wow,
It's a computer thing. It's great. There's Skin Showcase. He's another regular. Thanks for fucking watching, all of you regular guys. How's it hanging? Always to the right, Hoog. I wear right. Looking good with the logo.
You know what I say, Hoog? I say, like a bugle. Want to blow it? It's hanging like a bugle. You want to blow it?
Hanging like a bugle. Whatever happened to Goliath Labs Ejaculoid? Goliath Labs advertises on the website, in the magazine, on your social media. Swole Life is the title sponsor of this show. Nothing has happened to Ejaculoid. I'm going to use some this weekend and splooge all over Mrs. P.
Listen, mix the Swole. I love
and the clean energy with
and the fucking mix that, and then take some Ejaculoid. Your girlfriend will be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?"
Oh man, you'd be like the fucking caveman. $3 on Ali. Who's Ali? Muhammad Ali? I call him Cassius Clay.
Cash.
My grandmother used to watch a Little House on the Prairie. That was a cool show. It was like one of those like very wholesome, right? They had like those wholesome shows. Little House on the Prairie was one of them. What was the one with fucking Down syndrome kid? That's a Good Life or something. Remember they had window liquor on that.
Corky or some shit. The kid's
Corky, yeah. Corky was his name, but I forget and they usually were on Sunday nights, right? And then you had also the Sonny and Cher like entertainment hour on Sunday nights. Like,
oh god, I remember that.
Remember those like variety shows? You had a comic, a fucking singer, you know, it was just like a hodgepodge of like everything that was like
Ed Sullivan. But but when we were growing up, I don't know if you remember like Love American Style, and then they had all
well, Happy Days started in style for me and you. That was Happy Days' pilot episode was a skit. They called it a skit on Love American Style.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then I watched it on YouTube. You know, I never saw it on TV, but I looked it up and I watched it, and it was, you know, like most pilots, they were a little quirky. They had to work out a few of the kinks, and then it started on its own after that. But yeah, Love American Style was a really good fucking show. Oh, here's Keith. Hey, Keith Osmond. Yes. Well, our boy Donnie Osmond, we interviewed him when we had
Joe and I interviewed Donnie Osmond.
Stream Radio with MD with Steve Bleckman. I believe today is Steve Bleckman's 72nd birthday.
Is it really? Happy birthday, Steve.
Yeah, if it's either, you know, today, tomorrow, it's coming up if it hasn't passed a day in advance in the past. But either way, bon compleanno to Steve Bleckman. God bless you.
Yes.
You know, like I said,
he
was a good dude, bro. I broke balls a lot, but you know, when I look back now, I was a little bit of a jerk off. You know,
it's okay. He was a great dude, man. I love that guy. He's, you know, like John and Dave. You know, the grapes are a little sour there, but they have, you know,
it's all right. Yeah,
there's reasons for all that shit, but I'm not getting into that shit. But you know what I'm saying?
No, that's so old.
That's all old news. That's water under. But you know, I mean, that's almost 20 years ago, for Christ's sake. That I think they left in 2008 or 2009. I mean, yeah, it's like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Let that shit go.
Yeah.
I mean,
you want to fucking laugh? The shop and stop my wife and I go to, they have like a little magazine section, you know, like by the cards aisle. And for some reason, I don't know why, the last Muscular Development with Ronnie Coleman on the cover is still on the newsstand.
No.
I mean, it's been a couple of years, and I'm like, wow, it's still here. So I flipped through it a few times, and I'm like, you know, not for nothing, it was good fucking stuff. Even that was the last one, and it was thick. It had, you know, people used to, it got so thin, but it used to be like this. I mean, of course,
yeah, man.
You know, the old ones were fucking huge. 300 pages. I mean, come on, you can't sustain that forever.
It was more than 300. It was like 480s or something like that.
Yeah,
at one time. Yeah.
With the D cup girls, those issues laying around the office, a lot of them found their way to the fucking drawers of my desk. Let's put it that way.
D cup girls. Oh my god,
bro! The Sandwich used to write the column and
interview the
female bodybuilders. That was the guy that introduced you to Steve.
Yeah,
the Sandwich.
Yeah. Josh Brown was his real name.
Yes,
Josh,
yeah.
The name of Sandwich. And I was there when the D Cup girls. That's when I started. He was still doing the D Cup girls. You know what I mean? And you know, I met a lot of those. You know, like Brandy Dahl and Christine. I forgot the name, but there was a lot of them. You know, they were nice.
Yeah, that was great.
But he was funny. He had pictures all over the walls and shit of those chicks. You remember? He had pictures all over the walls. I think Elise made him take him down. But he was great. I love Steve Bleckman. Yeah. Steve Bleckman's a great guy. I really don't like when people talk shit about him. You don't,
like I said, he and I had our differences, but it was his business. At the end of the day, that was what he wanted to do. And, you know, that too bad on me if I didn't agree with it. It wasn't my business.
You guys
I can do this one the way I want.
You buried the hatchet, so it doesn't. It's all done.
Oh yeah, we spoke. Yeah, we shook hands and spoke at the Olympia in 2022. The last time we saw each other, I you know, we were like, "Hey, how you doing? How's your family and everything?" You know, he's got the grandkids and stuff. So it's like, How's everything going? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, man.
good. All good, man.
That's the way I feel. When Dave keeps saying new suit, I hate when he starts that shit. I'm not even gonna get into it, but you know what I mean.
You were getting what you were deserved,
Right.
And what is the law? I mean, unemployment insurance is not. It wasn't like it was coming out of his pocket. I mean,
no, but I was also exclusive on him. I couldn't even fucking talk to Joe Matarazzo. It didn't matter who called. If I wanted, I had to get a permission to do Generation Iron. You know what I mean? Because I had an exclusive I had a contract exclusive. People don't realize they have no idea. But it was good. Me and Blackman, he wound up hiring me back later on. You know what I'm saying? With Iron Mag Labs.
That's right. Yeah, you guys were doing the videos with Chris.
Right.
Yeah, Christian.
Yeah. But he got me back, Steve Blackman. So everything's good.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. So it's all. Listen, Muscular Development had an amazing fucking run.
Oh my God.
You guys were great there. I loved working there. Like I said, I had some differences with them. So what? Everybody has differences with their boss. Nobody goes, "Oh, I love my boss. Everything he or she does is perfect." Unless they're sucking your cock or something. If you're banging them, you got a fucking broad. That's different. Joe, what do you think about Larry Pollock revealing that Mike Mentzer was a Finoikia? I did not see that. I didn't know that. This is the first I'm hearing of it. Was that during the show?
Listen, everybody knows that Mentzer was definitely a little bit shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew Mike Mentzer pretty well. I knew Ray even better.
Weird, right?
I never met him. He used to sit in my gym. He used to come to my gym sometimes here in Yorktown because he was friends with one of my friends. Okay, and he would when he'd come into New York. Okay, Alex Abay, and also Bob Gruskin, and he would come here. And he'd come into my gym and he used to fucking sit and just stare at me like this because I'd be doing, me, I do 100 sets and shit. And he'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Dude, it works, right?" I mean, at the time I was natural, you know what I mean? And I was really built. And then he would go outside, smoke a cigarette, you know what I mean? And, even one of our guys who watches our stuff here, you remember, Jacob Anderson, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Jacob told me one time that he was, I don't know if he did something with Mentzer. I don't know if he hired Mentzer to train him or do something like that. But he was telling me, which, I already knew Mentzer had a reputation for this, so did Ray, that Mentzer opened up his trunk and he had like cases of fucking like vodka and he would just sit there and just, and it's true. That's the way he was. He was a big vodka drinker and he was a drunken and alcoholic. You know what I mean? And a chain smoker. Terrible. And he looked like shit at the end. He looked like, if you saw him walking around at the end, you would never, ever, ever know that guy was once like a great bodybuilder. He looked like he had no muscle. Like he just looked like the average guy. He had nothing. It was gone. Like Larry said, he had like 13, 14 inch arms. It was just terrible.
Yeah. He quit. He walked away in 1980 after.
There's no way he should have. I'm sorry, but there's no way he should have beaten Arnold. I don't think. Okay.
I don't think so either.
Okay,
I think Zane or Platts were good.
Zane was good. You know who else too that year? Look, I hate his build, but I mean Chris Dickerson I think placed second that year, and then came Zane. I think Zane was third. I'm not sure. Whatever, but those two guys, and especially bodybuilding was kind of going that way anyway. They were going for the more aesthetic, more ripped, more like you know what I mean. Pleasing builds. That's why Zane had won 3 years in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think that Zane looked amazing that year too. He had like pop muscle. He wasn't huge standing around, but when he stood on stage, he looked just as big as those guys. And then when he posed, everything just went pop, pop, pop. I mean,
he was shredded. Yeah.
He was good. You can't take anything away from Frank Zane. The guy had a phenomenal body.
No.
But
I didn't know that Mentzer was he a confirmed Finoikia or was he just a little weird? And because I know he was a fucking esoteric, wacky kind of fucking dude. So I don't know. Joe Weider used to tickle the pickle, and Ed Connors. No, he was the guy behind the desk at the old
Ed Connors was one of the owners. It's funny because I know Ed and I know all those guys. A lot of those guys, when you say gay and fucking around, you're like, there's a lot of that shit in this sport. A lot of these guys shouldn't talk because there's a lot of guys, that's the way they made their money. Now, today with the internet, changed things. But you have no idea. Listen to me. What did Arnold Schwarzenegger do? And I'm not saying he did any of that stuff. Anyway, What did he
Up that
do?
cakes, right?
He won.
was like a
Listen,
girl.
Joe, the famous story I tell everybody. Leon Brown told me this. It was right there with him. Leon Brown was one of Arnold's best friends. And Leon
Yep.
Brown told me about 1971 when he won the fucking Mr. Olympia. They called him out. You know, they gave him a check. He went like this and walked off stage really fast. Joe Weider calls him back, says, Arnold, the crowd's chanting, Arnold, Arnold. Joe
Yep.
Weider calls him back, says, come on back. You got to, come on, they're rooting for you. Say something to your fans. Come on, you just won the Mr. Olympia. And Arnold stood there and he held up the check and he said, I just want to say all I got, I busted my ass all year long and really trained real hard. And all I got was this fucking check for $1,000. And he walked off stage. So now,
Yeah.
what did he, for $1,000? Now, Arnold was known to hang out, ride bikes, lay on the beach twice a day.
Yeah.
Where did he make his money? What job? Don't say bricklayer, because there's one wall that him and Franco did, which is like the fucking Leaning Tower pizza, okay? So what did he do for a living? Do you think that Arnold got up every fucking day and
Punch
was
the
a
clock?
stonemason? Yeah. It was a stonemason Joe slapping on the fucking Ugat stair, putting on bricks and shit. I can tell you now, he didn't do that. How did he train twice a day? How did he lay on the beach all day?
Yeah.
Like this for years. To Mr. Olympia,
Yeah.
I remember, I think in 1979 or something, it was like $10,000. How did you live off that shit? You know what I'm saying? So where did he get this
There was money coming from another source, obviously.
Right. They had like,
yeah.
and it's not gay for pay so much as like sometimes the guys would stand there, okay, and some rich dude would fucking jerk off or just wanted to have you around him. He was gay. He would be like, I'll buy you dinner. What do you need? New sneakers. Here you go. Here's some money just for hanging out with me. That a lot of those guys did that. They weren't always cracking dudes in the can. But let's just say, he wasn't laying bricks. He might have been laying something else, but he wasn't laying. He might have been laying a little pipe.
Yeah.
He might have been laying a little pipe.
He was a pipe fitter.
Plumbing, a little drain cleaning there. I don't know.
Letting pipes.
But a lot of those guys did that. A lot of those guys, I know, you hear all this shit with some of these guys, Craig Titus and all that shit. They find out he was an informant on the payroll. They find out, oh shit, he was doing all this, I don't want to get into all that shit because I know a lot of dirt on a lot of people. I could talk to you about it when we're not on here, but
yeah, yeah. We can just for chit chat. Yeah, but it's like you're saying, you're not gonna add dirty laundry. No,
I'm not gonna.
There he is, Swol Life right there. Appreciate the Swol love. We appreciate you, Lawrence. Thank you so much.
Joe, I did it that one time with that fucking guy, Andrew.
Dart blowing.
Yeah, where I blew the dart. My friend was doing it. He calls me up. He says he needs another guy.
I would have done that. That's not doing anything.
Dude, he paid me with a check. Joe, $3,000. He paid me 300. Excuse me, 3,000. I wish it was 3,000. $300, and he paid me with a check, and I was blowing the darts. I didn't do any, we didn't do anything gay, but he was standing there naked, tight to the cross. He had this master walk around with chaps and his fucking like.
Yeah,
like
but you weren't even near him. You weren't.
No. I would blow. With this, I blew a dart in his ass, and then I was getting into it. That motherfucker, give me another dart.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
To me, somebody said something on one of my live things. Hey, didn't Gregg say he did a gay for pay one time? And I explained the story with the dart blowing and the
the guy was gay. His master was there, and I'm not gonna say who
he was on the X.
Another guy.
Right? He was on like an X.
He was on the X. It was like it was an X, and he was tied naked, and his ass was out here, bare ass naked, and his master was like a client of one of my friends, really close friend of mine. And he's like, bro, you need the money. My kid was just born. He goes, you need the extra money. Just get your ass down here. It's quick, $300. You know what I mean? So I said, okay. So I drove down. We're in the city right there off 14th Street. There's a giant art collect deal. I mean, I'm telling you the guy's name, who it was Andrew Crispo. And I stood there, and his master comes to the door. He's got this fucking banana hammock just covering his cock, and he's got like fucking chaffs on, you know what I mean? And he's like
Mr. Slave on South Park.
Dude, Joe, just straight out of the fucking out of a gay looking movie with this with the fucking police hat, the fucking the black letters. And he goes, the boys in the back, come with me. We go in the back, and there's my boy and shit like that back then. He's like, yo, go in there, put on some fucking hot skins, and I wore like a Timberlands, So he goes, the hiking boots, not work boots. So he goes to me,
Yeah.
put those fuckers on. He told me to do it, So I go out there and I do come out, and then, I was jacked. I wasn't super jacked. This is before I took steroids. So I was really built, you know what I mean?
Oh,
But I
yeah.
wasn't super jacked. I was like, you see with the younger pictures of me, I had hair on my head and everything. But I was fucking blown. At first I was like, oh my God. And my friend's like, look, calm the fuck down. Simmer down. Just do the fucking thing. Blow the fucking dart. And so I'm like, you need to blow the first dart. And I'm like, oh, fuck, is that killing him or is that hurting him and shit? And then, they're like, dude, that's what he wants, you asshole, And then the fucking guy's putting a lighter on it, making a thing like a bright orange. And he's like, now blow the dart. And like this. And the guy's like, it's Chris Paul's like, screaming and shit. So, yes, I did it. I'm not going to lie.
Is he still around? I'll do it for 200 now. I don't give a fuck. You got to pay the tolls though, because it's in the city.
Right now, today, $300 back then.
Congestion.
Joe, that was like 1990 or 91, because my son was just born. That $300 back then was different than $300 today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a week's fucking pay for a lot of good jobs.
Man, back then 300, and he wrote it out to me as cash, but he gave me a fucking check, the motherfucker. He wrote it to cash. I didn't want my name on it, but I had to go to the bank anyway. But still, you know what I mean? It was funny.
But that's great though. Joe Eater was into the tickle pickle. He used to own a gay public. Yeah, well, during the early days of the muscle your physique, right? He had some of those magazines that were Mr. America and stuff. They were kind of, but a lot of those like regulars, even like you'll find pictures of Dan Lurie when he was younger, posing naked in those magazines. They weren't doing anything gay. It was just
nothing. Listen, I got to tell you something. I've met Joe Weider many times. I knew Joe Weider. I knew Ben Weider better. But Joe Weider was not gay. I hate when people say he's not gay. Yes, he talk like this. But people say that about people. They always make jokes about Steve. You know what I mean? And he's not gay. On the contrary, he's like a womanizer. When they would make jokes about him with the glutes and everything, that's because he was such a fan of the sport. Okay, almost exactly. Okay, even I feel like I tell Dave, Plumber, dude, I love you, bro, but you're too much of a fan. Like, oh my God, who won a Buckeye Barbell Classic? But what I'm saying is, Joe Weider didn't do the tickle pickle. You got to understand something. Right now, if Joe and I were sitting here doing this shit, and the guy from Swol said, "Hey, man, get some gays on here, and they're gonna buy this. We'll fucking sell it all day, all night."
Oh,
if we have a gay audience, Joe and I might start showing a little ass a little bit more on this show.
I'll wear the chaps.
Joe, if they're gonna pay Scott, I want to see Joe. I want to see Joe with the chaps on and the banana hammock.
Oh God!
The wife might divorce you. And Jimmy might leave the house. Out of the next room.
That's not my father. I don't know that man. Who the fuck is that sitting there in the basement? Yeah, definitely. I agree. Bodybuilding is so fixated on glutes. That's where it all started. Listen. Of course, there's gay people that enjoy the sport. There was gay Mr. Olympians.
Right, you're gonna play to the audience. Listen, a lot of the guys that do that shit. A lot of the guys that do that shit, okay, they're not gay. They're not the dude that gay for paying bodybuilding, because the gay guys have the scuttle. Do you understand? Yeah. It's just like if you go to a big titty bar and you think that you walk in there, you could have a fucking one eye in the middle of your head and a giant mole like this big with hair sticking out of it, and some chick would be like, "Hi, baby, do you want to dance?
Buy me a drink."
Right? You want to dance? You think, "Oh shit, Joe, that chick with the big tits, she just came over and said hi. I think
she likes me.
She likes me.
I'm gonna get a number.
Bro. Yeah. She likes your fucking wallet, you fucking momo. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. Gregg, was you ever on the other side of Ed Connor's one-sided mirror from RB? So is Ed Connor's had like a like the cops have when they look in the fucking lineup room? Like, so
I don't believe any of that. Just like John kids around, John Romano, and he'll make jokes, say that like. Now I used to talk with fucking. I have his cell phone number still. It was in my flip phone, but it's still in the phone here. Ben Weider. Now let me explain something. Ben Weider was a big historian, and he was known for he's like one of the leading authorities. He wrote books on Napoleon Bonaparte, but he was a Civil War guy. John always used to say that he bought Napoleon Bonaparte's hat. He might have. I never asked him about it. But
Yeah.
John used to say that he used to put it on and walk around naked. That's not, none of that's true. Those guys, you got to understand, if your audience is gay and you're making fucking money over it, there's not one guy that's sitting in here, even my hater here, the yes man, Gregg Valentino queer.
Yeah, where is he?
Who has no life, he's on every show, okay? And he's right, I'm queer, especially with guys like him. You know what I mean? Because I know he really wants this. He wants that right there. But
He's dying to blow you.
Listen, you fucking guys got to understand something. If some fucking gay guy is going to say, listen, I'll pay off your car for you and even take you and your wife out to dinner. What does your wife need? I'll get her a new diamond ring. You're going to sit there and say, no, you're gay. I'm not saying you don't have to fuck. They don't even want to fuck around. Arnold wasn't sticking in guys' ass, but you know, guys would go to dinner with him, and it was almost like an escort, like a high-end escort. You know, I'm not saying Arnold. Listen, I got to say this here. I'm not saying Arnold did that. Okay, I can't say he did that because we're not going to get in any trouble here. But what I'm saying is, guys like that, big famous bodybuilders, before this internet shit, okay, where they're getting paid for like, I got so many likes on my Instagram. Okay, before they got paid for that bullshit, okay. They used to have to make money somehow, okay? So they'd have guys buying them gifts, okay? It's just like one of you schmoes that fucking love these fucking big titty girls. You go in there and you're giving her money and shit like that. That's exactly what it is. But it doesn't mean that they're gay. It just means that like some gay guy wants to buy your wife a new fucking car or some shit like that. Your wife would be the first one. You know, say, get your ass out there and go get that new fucking car I want. You know what I mean? Or take that fucking vacation. He's going to pay for a vacation for us? Are you out of your mind? And, you know, all he has to do is look at your fucking ass. You know what I mean? Go take your fucking pants and let him see your ass. I want to go to fucking Tahiti, you motherfucker. I want to go to Bora Bora. Joe, take your ass and show him your goddamn ass. I want to go to Bora Bora.
Absolutely. Yep. That's how hey, Beetlejuice, what's up? That's how Arnold got his break in Hollywood too. You know, listen, if somebody was going to give me millions of dollars to star in fucking action movies, I don't know if I would fucking have a problem doing what he did, whatever it may have been, even if it was fucking, you know, one thing or one small thing for one small person. Look at all of the shit with Epstein and not Epstein, Weinstein. I mean, that's the way the casting couch has become part of the vernacular.
He's a real looker. You think those fucking guys, those chicks, you think all those hot chicks, you ever read some of the girls that were with fucking Weinstein? And you're like, wait a minute. Oh, he was with her? You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you think that some of those girls had to put a clothespin on it because Brett stinks? He's fucking short, fat. You know what I mean? But he's got a fucking beautiful bankroll. Big, beautiful bankroll, as Donald Trump would say. You know, he's got a big, beautiful bank account, and he's willing to share. So those girls are going to take that ugly motherfucker and run with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the way that works.
He's going to get them in a fucking big movie. Dave gave Lee $20. Gregg got nothing. A little Jason Genova speak there, Buck.
Yeah.
AJ, what's up, AJ?
AJ, what's going on, man?
From England, Master G.
Yes. He's talking about when I did the blog, because that's what my partner Paul, I tell the master there, what's his name? Yeah, so they said what he would call it, Master G. So Master G, he's talking about me blowing the darts.
Yeah, yep. It was Victor. No comment. I don't know if it was.
You know, I want to say, it's funny we say this, Joe. Joe, listen. You know, we actually talked about this. We briefly touched this, and I kind of misunderstood what he said at first, and then I you know. Dave talked about on the After Hours show the new movie that's out, Magazine Dreams, and they said at one point Michael Hearn or something like that, they did a scene with the black, and when Dave said to me, "Would you do a gay scene?" and I thought he meant in a gay movie, and I said no, and then when he explained for that, I said, "Fuck yeah, I'd do it." First of all, do you really think, you know, Michael Hearn's a great guy, and his wife Mona, I've known before he knew her. Okay, you know, Joe, remember she's still in the steakhouse, Nebraska Steakhouse. And, you know, his wife's a great girl, Mona Morrison. Let me tell you something. Do you really think that he, you know, when you're doing a scene, first of all, even when you see two like hot movie stars and they're kissing in a movie, a lot of times they're not really kissing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they are. They're like, if you're Brad Pitt, you fall in love with every one of your leading ladies. So maybe you are. Okay.
Mr. and
But
Mrs. Smith there.
that doesn't mean they're really in bed. And if some Hollywood guy's going to put me in a big top movie and I'm going to get paid, scott all. I don't give a fuck who it is. It could be Harvey Weinstein. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it.
Listen, the money is right. I think a lot of people do anything.
Yeah, that wasn't
listen,
a part as an extra. That was a paid. I know. I've done things. It was a paid role, and he got paid. You know what I mean? And he's in a top movie. It's a movie. It's a legit movie. You know what I mean?
And this is why when people say, "Why doesn't he admit he's on gear?" Because he's a mainstream guy. He's trying to be mainstream. He's probably gonna, if he does start to get his name out there more, he's probably gonna downsize even, because I think he's even too big now to be like a mainstream guy.
Yeah, but he's a good-looking guy. The thing about him, I know people are gonna freak out when I say this. Okay, I know they're gonna fucking, hey, you're stupid. First of all, I don't care what he does. I like him. Okay, I don't care what he does.
Too,
but I don't think if he says he's natural, I'm gonna believe him because he's the same size he was for 30 years. Number one. Number two, he's a big man. He's a big man. If he wanted to get super huge, he's tall, bro. If he wanted to get super huge, he'd be 350 fucking pounds. With those genetics that he has, he was a natural for years. I believe that people can't stand that. You know, look, when I was natural, I was fucking super jacked. You know, people thought I was on steroids before I even knew what steroids were. But what I'm saying is, you know, people care too much about what the other side of the fence is doing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, you know,
what Michael Hearn does on his own time.
What is Yes Man about the greaser shit? I mean, first of all, how? Wait, weren't we when we were in high school? Did you have greasers? Remember that shit? Like guys that like were into motorcycles, walk around. I mean, that's what they had when I was in high school. And
he's trying to say that we're greasers are Italians. He's trying to say.
No,
for me, greasers was more of like a 50s kind of.
Yeah, you're saying it wrong. You fucking momo. If you're gonna throw shade, it's grease ball. It's you gotta say you fucking grease balls, not you fucking. So you're fucking shot there. You forgot to write in all caps for that first one. So I'll let you slide. Okay, I'll let you slide this time. Okay, but and I know you want my attention. And what do you want me to speak Italian? What are you fucking like Irish or some shit like that? You want me and Joe to sit here and speak Italian? I can speak dirty words in some sentences, but I can't speak fluent Italian. But I don't know what that means to you. I'm an American first. I'm an American.
Si uomo, tu frocchio. Tu piacere, cazzo. Come on, who cares?
He wants to you fucking.
I'm the one with the Italian. I think he's giving me gimp suit. Was that from the Bodot too?
No, he wasn't. This guy was fucking naked, bro. He wasn't wearing no gimp suit. He was fucking naked, and he was tied facing with his ass facing us like this, back like that. I could see his back, and I mean, obviously, I saw his face and everything. You know.
Yeah.
But
Greg, we need a full day of eating. What is? I don't know what that means. You know what that means from RB?
Full day of eating. He means. I think he means on a video.
Oh, okay. All right.
On a video, he wants a full day of eating.
He wants to see what you think. Swole sell out for $10. Can't speak Italian though. You're goddamn right. And
Damn
it's not
right.
selling out. It's called fucking sponsorship. This is what makes the world go round.
But
you think when you watch the Super Bowl and they say this shitty halftime show is brought to you by PepsiCo? I mean, come on, you know.
No, but listen, it's okay. Listen. We appreciate you coming on here and fucking talking.
Oh, I love him.
You're giving us, and I know that you got 30 other fucking screen names that, you know, some of you probably suck our dicks. And Joe and Greg, I love you two guys. You're the fucking best. And we sit here, we go like this. Then the next one, you go to the next one. Yeah, we're almost. It takes one to know one.
I got a tattoo. Oh, see that? It's got a tattoo from bed. Cover up. Wish me luck. I got to tune out early. Be good, guinnies.
All right,
Boogs, if you're here, thank you for the songs. I am going to work on getting them on the videos and stuff. Gays need pre-workout too. Hey, you're damn right. They like hats. They want to see hats. They like sunglasses. They want to be incognito.
Definitely,
dude.
Damn right. I'm going to tell you guys. Listen, this clean energy. I know I keep shoving this one. Look, I got the other one right here, and I do. Look, it's not like it. Look, I mean, it's half gone already. Okay. I do love this when I work out, but I'm going to tell you something. I like this clean energy. It's called clean energy for a reason, okay? Because it's all natural stuff. It's not loaded with all the other bullshit. But this shit's pretty fucking good. So the guys from Swol, I'm like picky with shit. I really am. You know, and some people are
you don't like the skim
pre-workout.
stuff.
But this one is a very unique supplement right here. Look, it's not the same, okay? One's clean energy and the other's. So I actually like it. But thank you for bringing that up so we can fucking plug it more.
Yeah, of course. MSM
wait,
15,
right
15%.
Gays need pre. That's right. I didn't even see this
Yeah.
little guy. I didn't
Gays
know that
need-
was.
They need
It's-
pre-workout
it's-
probably more than heterosexuals. They
Wait,
need
one-sided.
they more
you know,
sex than
like-
heterosexuals.
Italian.
One-
Listen, wait. If you're gonna throw shade, can you please call us grease balls instead of greaser?
Yeah.
When I think of greaser,
Greaser.
I think of the kids in high school that like worked on cars. Because when I was
the
in high school, it was the 70s. They
hair.
had the grease back here, wearing the
Yeah.
Fonzie jackets. That's what greasers were. That's
That's
why
an
the
old
name
thing.
Grease, like the movie Grease. The greases are coming.
Yeah.
You
You're the
fucking
one that
Momo,
I
you
want.
got if you're gonna do it, you gotta throw shade right. If you're gonna throw shade, you should throw it right. Switch to one of your other fucking screen names and come on and say it right. Then we'll be like, oh look, you know.
Let us see. I only blow Italian man, not fake greasers. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm an Italian
You
man.
guys
You can come
please
here
speak
and blow me.
Italian. Can you guys please speak Italian to us? What would you like me to say?
Here,
Do
I'll
want me
tell you
to
when la
call
boca
you-
puzza. La boca puzza. Okay? Go fucking Google that shit and you'll see what it means. It means your breath stinks. Sotto la braccia puzza. Your fucking the arm stinks. Okay? Un culo puzza. Faccia puzza. You motherfucker.
Un po' cazzo too. Rob Brancucci. What's up, Rob? Rob's up by your way. He's upstate.
Oh, really? Where's he from? Where are you from, Rob?
He is from Dobbs, like the Dobbs Ferry area.
Oh, yeah. That's like Terrytown. Yeah,
Right?
Dobbs Ferry. Yep, that's by me, Rum.
Get Chris Aceto on, guys.
Why
I
you
don't
guys
think
talk?
Chris would be a good mix with us. He's
Dude, I
into
like
the
Chris
regular
Aceto.
stuff, and that's what he brings to the table. That's what he's good
Listen,
at.
he's a smart guy. I like Chris
Oh,
Aceto.
he's excellent. He knows
He's a
what he's doing.
genius. If I was going to train for a show, I'd love to talk with Chris Aceto.
Yeah,
But if you guys
we don't
wanted,
talk about that.
if you wanted sleepy time right now, I always tell Dave, even Dave. If you want sleepy time, him and Dave, they sit there and they talk about the most boring shit. What? And I always say Chris combs his hair with a pork chop. You know, it's like I got a guy that comes in the gym I'm friends with, and he's got like he'll come in his fucking pillow head, his hair sticking up to here, and I'm like, dude, and Joe, he's one of those guys that you know you wore the same shirt 4 days in a row, and it fucking smells like fresh. I always ask him, is that fresh onion bagels I smell, or did you sleep in that shirt last night? Bro, the hair sticking up. And I'm like, don't you look at your fucking hair? Just at least, you know, do something. You got hair.
Water on it, comb it back. Yeah.
Well, you guys like unmade quizzes.
Put a hat on. You know,
I like
my
quizzes.
hair's all fucking weird now because of the transplant. I wear a cap. I go to the gym. I wear a hat. I go to the store. I wear my guinea cabbie hat. You know?
Are we going to have a reveal? Are we going to have like when you're... Are you going to take like a
reveal?
Not now. I meant when it's all done. Are you going to do the reveal?
Oh, yeah. And
no, I didn't
just
mean right now. I meant like when you're at where it's that time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll do a whole big thing. I can't wait till I can diet again because I know I'm old, but I feel fucking old. Shot Brothers jacket. What's that, Rob? I don't know what that means. Shot Brothers jacket. We had preppies and metalheads in high school. I was into the metal in high school. I was a Guido. I was a metalhead, and then back to a Guido. Depending on if the hot girls were into this style of music, I kind of fucking followed that. So when the Guido thing got a little old and the metal bands came out, I got into that. You know?
Isn't that funny? You call it. When I say that word, people look at me like, "What the fuck is Guido?" It's just like my daughter.
Yeah.
If I say, "Yeah," did you ever hear the Who? There's a band. Wait, what? There's a band called the Who, and I'm like, forget it. You know what I mean? But when I was in high school, there were the greasers, the heads. You know what I mean? The heads, the metal heads, all that shit. You know, the heads with the dudes smoking weed.
Burnout.
I hung out with them, and I didn't even smoke.
Yeah, Gregg, he wants the sausage. He's talking about Yes Man. Yeah, of course. Aceto don't do the low cow shows.
Aceto
I
does
guess
reduce
not.
these low cal
I guess
shows.
not.
Dude, wait,
Swole
did
energy
he
is
say
better
low
or
cal?
alternative to canned energy. It's low cal. Is
Dude,
it low
dude,
cal? I don't
dude,
know what
what's
low
wrong with?
cal means.
Listen to me. Yes, man. Come on, man. If you're gonna throw ranks, it's got to be
Estamos,
better
yeah,
than
man.
that. You got to do
Swole
better than
energy
that.
is better alternative to canned energy. Now, I know you're not into that like stim stuff, Greg, that like a canned energy drink, like it just it just gives you like this crazy
I will
and then
drink.
crash.
I will drink a Bang or one of those, but I
Uh-huh.
never. Wait. Let me explain this to you. I will sip if I have one floating around. I'll sip. But right now, I got to be honest with you. If I'm a little shot during the day, it's the clean energy. I don't want to waste
Yeah.
the pre-workout on something if I'm shot
The
a little
gym.
bit. Right.
Yeah.
The pre-workouts for the gym, but the clean energy I use, like if I didn't get a lot of sleep, which I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, I'll put the clean energy on, and it helps me. I'm not a
Yeah.
big energy. I'm nuts. Joe knows that I'm hyper and all that shit.
Yeah.
That's natural. I'm very picky with stimulants or any of that shit. I love ephedrine.
Yeah.
Okay. I've taken bites of an Adderall. It doesn't do anything to me. Adderall's a joke. Ephedrine's my favorite, but I can only take a corner. Joe, if you give me 100 milligram or 50, even 50 milligram Viagra, if I bite just the corner, one tablet could last me a long time.
That's wild, man.
Dude, Joe gave me the fucking that ejaculoid shit. It worked. I took the whole fucking thing, and I'm going to be honest with you, it fucked me up. I actually gave the bottle back to Joe. I was like, dude, I can't have this. I had a hard on for like 3 days. You know what I'm saying? I had a hard on for 3 days. I was like,
You're having a breath that lasts more than 4 hours. Go see a physician.
I was like, holy fuck, Lucia was sliding down like she was pole dancing on it and shit. You know what I mean? I was like, what
like the
fuck?
firehouse.
Because it's a gel. But you know what, Joe? If what's his name's watching, is Bart or whatever, what the hell's his name from Ejaculate?
Yeah.
Bart, if you're watching this, I want to try it again because that shit was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. I didn't give it back because it didn't work. I gave it back because it was a gel cap, and I couldn't break it because I usually take a piece.
You eat the pills. I know. I when I see you, I got some. I'll bring some.
The clean energy, though, guys. The clean energy is really good. It's very, very good. I mean, I'm not talking about for working out, but even if you need it, like if you're going to work or
like an energy drink, yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't,
2 o'clock.
See, I don't drink coffee. I've never.
Yeah, that's right. You know,
I've never tasted coffee. I think Joe knows that. I've never tasted coffee, but sometimes in the morning when I'm shot, I need a little fucking get up. I'm not going to use pre-workout. If I had a Bang here, I would drink a sip or two of it. But right now, I've been using the Swol. And I'm guys, you don't have to buy this shit. We'd like you to do it because it's it helps the show it. But I'm not pushing it. I'm telling you, I really take it. Okay, I'm not saying this because I'm pushing it. I'm telling you right now, this is the one my go-to during the day for coffee. Yep. There's my coffee right there. Yeah, and it's clean energy. So what's this? What's he saying now? Imagine you call
yourself Italian, but can't speak to your mother. I speak to my mother every day. I have a couple of pictures of her and my dad. Both have passed, just like Greg. Same thing. Our parents, unfortunately, are both passed, respectively. Yes. And I speak to both of them in Italian every day. I look at their picture and I say good morning. And I ask them how they're doing, and if I have to say, sometimes I say I'm sorry, because I do stupid things sometimes, and I think my mom's looking down like this.
You know what's fucked up? Joe used to say to me all the time, because I would call my father by his name sometimes, and then Joe would go to me, why don't you call him Dad? You know what I mean? Because
I got pissed at you for that. Remember?
Yeah, you did. But at the end, I called it. I was only calling him Dad when I knew he was dying. But the thing is, we just, it was a thing. I would call him by his name. But the thing is, I love my father. My father was my idol. And the other thing
Your father was a cool dude, man. He had beautiful fucking hair.
Yeah, he did. My father had full head of hair. And you know what's funny? He would go to get surgeries done at 88 years old. He'd be like, where's my comb? The first thing he would ask, bro, true Guinea. Where's my comb? Lucia, am I fucking full of shit or not, right? My father would ask, dude, if you go to hospital, he had all these, dude, nobody. My father had 2 knee replacements at the same day. He had both knees replaced, right? At the same time, which is very hard to do at fucking 80 years old. He went out. I was in Ohio at the Arnold Classic. I get a phone call from my sister. 6 weeks later, my father was going to the gym. He tripped outside. He fucking broke both kneecaps again. He had him
I
done a
remember
second
that.
time. Yeah. And he
I
crawled
remember
on
you
his
telling
arms
me
like
that.
this, and he cracked his elbows and shit.
Yes,
My father was a savage.
by the
My
stoop
father was
there outside your house. Yep.
my
You
father
got
was
the brick steps coming up. Yep.
yes, the fucking
Yeah.
guy crawled on there, cracked both of his elbows. But the thing I want to say something. Joe and I are both proud Italian Americans, but we're actually American Italians. Okay, we're both.
Yeah.
I'm American first, bro. Okay,
Yeah.
you know,
we're born here.
and I got to tell you something. Maybe it was you, yes, man, but some fucking moron one time was fucking, starting. Well, you're from the Bronx, but I moved out when I was younger, right? Because I was born in Manhattan, but I'm from the Bronx, right? And then he said to me, well, you say you're Italian from the Bronx, but how could you be an Italian from the Bronx? Listen to me. And then he started that same shit, about being Italian, right? And I said to him, listen, my friend is Italian, and he's from Italy. And if you were born in this country, right, Marco, if you were born in this country,
yeah.
he doesn't consider you Italian. He'd say, no, wait a minute. I'm Italian. You're American
he's right.
with Italian heritage. You know what I'm saying? And he's
right.
right.
Yeah.
So all you fucking guineas that live in the Bronx think, because you live there or from the Brooklyn. I'm from the Bronx. Okay. All you guineas that think like that makes you more Italian or whatever, you could sit there and speak Italian all you want. If you're not from Italy, if you weren't born on the soil of Italy, you're an American Italian. You're Italian American. You're not fucking, you know what I mean? So I consider myself American first and of Italian heritage. And I'm proud of my Italian heritage.
I love it. I want to move there. At the end of my life, I want to get dual citizenship and move there because it's fucking amazing. I love it there. I can't wait to fucking
my
go
father
back
lived there for a while.
It's a completely different world there.
Yes.
Sup, peeps? What's going on, bro?
What are you doing, my brother?
Tafunaf. I know I'm messing up. Here's our boy, Swol Life selling snake oil. Worst. Oh, come on, guys. No,
that's
racial,
not oil. First of all, does this look like oil?
Jokes. We got enough sex jokes.
Hey, you want a free sample? Why don't you give us your address? Momo.
The jacket Rob was talking to was the greasers. Oh, see, I thought like the motorcycle jackets, like the leather, with the little.
The great Fonzie type jackets, which was like back then it was motorcycle Fonzie. Yep. It's not like a fucking Hell's Angel. It's a different type of leather jacket.
Yeah, there's Annie. I love the Ramones. I love the Ramones too, and I'm so pissed. Do you know how many times I could have went to see them playing in clubs and stuff? And I don't know why. We were into the hair metal more. And it's like, why didn't we go see the Ramones? Just because they were such a big band and they used to play small like L'Amour and shit. I wish I could go back in time and go see the real Ramones, the original, even though Marky, the drummer, took over for Tommy, but that's still like the original main guys. Would love to see Joe on RX. I was on RX a bunch of times, especially when he
Joe's
was
been on RX.
When he was in New York. I used to. We would be there in person. I've been there.
Joe and I were in the studio together. Joe was in the RX studio in New York.
A bunch of times we were there. Yeah. It was cool there. It was a lot of fun, that place.
Joe,
I've known Gregg for a long time. He's never had a cup of coffee. See, this is Charlie.
Oh, here we go. Charlie Arms wouldn't even have to turn on a computer right now, and he's getting old. You know what's funny, Joe?
Westchester icon. But see, that's it. See, Rob knows, but we don't know if we don't know if this is the real Charlie.
No, I know for a fact
it's an imposter. Yeah.
Right now,
YMCA and East Coast Fitness. Do you know those places, Gregorio?
Yeah, of course. I went to all of those places. YMCA, I was there when I was 15 years old. Yeah,
that was the only place that had.
When I first met Charlie Arms, he had them big fucking sideburns and shit. And East Coast Fitness was owned by my boy, started by my boy Rob Messina, Denise Messino's.
Denise Messino's.
Rob Messino. It's my guy.
What did Lou Ferrigno's father deathbed letter say, Gregg? He will.
Oh my God! I brought it to Steve Blackman. I'm not going to tell you everything, but it wasn't.
But he didn't want to print it out of just respect.
He said, "I can't do." He said, "I'm going to go to." He said, "I'm going to get sued if I print this." It was bad. It was bad. I'm not going to say. Listen, I buried all that shit with me and Lou Ferrigno because first of all, there was a thing of Lou and his daughter are going to court against each other a little bit right now. So the last thing I want to do is start any bullshit.
Really?
You know, yeah. Go Google it, Joe. Or
Ooh.
I'll talk to you. But listen,
That's
I'm
ugly.
done with the Lou Ferrigno thing. Him and he doesn't like me. Go up to him and you mention my name, he'll fucking probably hit you on the head and then run away. But that's done. I don't want to even because I'm not going to get sued. I'm tired of that shit. You know,
and it's
forget
like
it.
you said, it's old. Who cares? It's over
I
and
was
done.
representing Lou Ferrigno's brother. Okay, so there we go, Andy.
Andy used to be in the store. We were kids in Brooklyn, and we used to go into the store and talk to Andy all the time. You see him
And
in the
Andy's-
movie when they're
Yeah.
at the dinner table. Andy's,
Right, he was young then. Andy
Yeah.
he also had a cousin that was there, and he just talked to me recently because I can't remember his name, but Matt the father, and I used to go
The
and say, Matt,
father and
I still got all the shit
Yeah.
here. I still got Ferrigno stuff here. Gave it to me in 1980, 1979.
Yeah. Greg, show us
McDonald's
pictures of
Andy.
your old gym. It was in that video clip you showed with Janine Pinero, whatever.
Jenny Piero, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, they had the
she looked
picture of
hot
the
there,
powerhouse
right, Joe?
gym in there. Oh, I
Yeah,
would
you
eat her
see-
ass for fucking
Yeah,
hours,
dude,
bro.
when she was young, let me tell you something about Janine Pirro. When she was young,
She's still
she was
hot.
a piece of ass. I mean, she's in her
Look at her legs.
70s right now, and she get the Botox and all that shit with the black hair. When she was younger, she used to put her hair blonde, but she had her face. She was gorgeous. I'm telling you right now, she was gorgeous.
She was cool. AOC is from Yorktown. Your niece went to school with her. Yeah, her niece graduated with AOC.
Well, she and I go junking at her parents' house. We do.
Egregious. What's up, brother? Goodness. Yes, man. Respect Greg for saying you're Italian American, my favorite. There you go. Yes, man.
There
You
you
get
go.
the
Ring the
bell,
bell, Joe. Ring the bell.
There you
Ring
go.
the bell. Yes. I'm American first. I'm never Italian is just my heritage.
That's
and I'm
where we're born.
We should all be proud of our heritage, no matter what you are. Okay, I know there's fucking beautiful people in every fucking heritage, but for me, I was raised that way. But I was, I'm American first. I'm not I'm American who was of Italian descent, and anybody who was born on this soil, and I don't care if you speak Italian so fluent, you could write a book in Italian. Okay, and you're from the Brooklyn, the Bronx, wherever the fuck, which you think makes you more Italian. I'm from the Bronx, so fuck you. But whatever, you're not Italian if you're not born in Italy. That's if you talk to any real Italian, right? Right, Joe?
100%. I agree. Even if I'm learning how to speak it, slowly but surely, I'm getting better each day. I do a lesson every day on an app. I study. I have fucking notes, cards. I read. I test myself. I'm doing good. It's going to take a while. Hopefully one day I can say I can hold a full-fledged conversation in that language. I'm trying to get the dual citizenship. Let's just say 3 years from now, I get the dual citizenship and I feel I can speak the language semi-fluently. Does that make me Italian then? No, I'm still American.
Right. He's always good. Listen, if you were in the middle of a war and there's Italian, Italy, and America on one side, you're going to take America's side always. You know what I mean? I'm not.
How could I not? Yeah.
It's just the heritage that we were brought up with. You got to understand it.
Yeah.
Both my parents, my mother was from Genoa, my father was from Naples. I'm just saying, you have to. We were raised that way. You know what I'm saying? But my parents always instilled you're American first. My father flew the American flag, fought in the fucking Korean War, has the had the flag outside. My son's intelligence with the government. You know what I mean?
Sure.
My son's NSA right now. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, the fucking people came here, because when my son first got on intelligence, they have to do a background check, and you have all these federal fucking people coming to the house. The first thing he said to my father was, "Holy shit!" This is a long time ago, guys. My father's been dead a long time. But what I'm saying is, they love the fact that the American flag was outside the house. We're Americans, baby.
Yeah, well, that's what we are. You saw the Ramones 6 times, Rob. Lucky, man. I would have fucking, like I said, I'm pissed that I never saw them. This is not the real Musclehead. My friend Boston Lloyd was an informant. Palumbo was telling the truth. That's not Tyler.
No. And I don't care. I'm not going to argue. The other day, I got on, sometimes like when Joe puts me on here, I'm backstage, right? So Joe sees, Greg's here, bring him on. The other day I was backstage. And there was some shit talking going on, bro. That because I did that video. Listen to me. They were non-informants. It was the FDA, not the FBI, the DEA. The
Yeah.
FDA talked to them. Joe and I did the story. Watch the video.
But that's
And they
definitely not Tyler.
The other two guys were already in trouble. They were already being. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for Boston Lloyd, saying I'm part owner of the company, found out he wasn't, and he told them, "Well, I know where we get the raw materials from. We get it from here."
Yeah.
That saved those two guys. Those guys should go to Boston Lloyd's grave. Thank you.
They were able to fucking
they would have
check
gotten
their way
more
out of
time.
it. Yeah.
They're the ones who became the rats because the government said, "Okay, give us the fucking people who give you the chemicals because we
Now
already
they're
know."
squeezing them.
And your partner's not really your partner, told us, and that's how they got off. So they should go to Boston's grave. Thank you.
Charlie Arm says his nurse set him up with a tablet. It's pretty easy. I'm sure you're on many pills a day.
Your nurse. Now the real Charlie Arms would kick your ass for even saying that. He's not.
Wish you would come down and visit sometime, Greg. We don't have many. That's actually a very nice thing, though. Even though if it's the fake Charlie Arms, he's working hard. That's
he's trying. Really, the real Charlie
for that one.
He's not the kind of guy that will go in a nursing home.
Greg didn't have coffee. Didn't he do heroin?
No.
He's saying LOL. He's just joking.
First of all,
Greg, how did you meet?
What's that?
How did you meet Lucia? Keith wants to know.
Oh, I met her in a club in New York City.
And disco. It's in this issue. The whole story behind the night that him and Lucia met is in
That's
this
right.
issue.
Get that issue. Dude, this is the last fucking magazine that tells it like it is and shit. Okay, Muscle Sport Mag is the last man standing. You can't get bodybuilding magazines anymore. Instead of going online and hearing guys just talking shit, but guys have been training for 3 years now, they're experts on SARMs and training and lifting weights and shit. Bro, I was training. Some of you have been training before your parents were alive. Listen to me. You got to get the magazine. It tells the whole story of everything. I'm just telling you. You know what I mean? You got to,
Got a lot of vets in there. John Romano, yourself, fucking Musclehead Tyler is in there.
Lee Priest was writing for us.
We had Lee. We had
Rich Piana.
Dave even wrote, right? Piana, Dave Palumbo wrote.
Dave Palumbo, all of them.
Why the fuck, Paul Till? Why the fuck does Greg always big time Charlie Arms? Give the guy a call. He's so respectful. Speaks loudly. Call Greg, please. All right. So he's just having a little fun, taking the joke one step further.
Yeah.
Daniel Science. What up, Joe? What up, Greg? All the way from Louisiana. Daniel, what is up? Louisiana. I was in Louisiana with my wife in New Orleans, and it's a very fun party town.
Oh, I bet.
It's pretty wild. It's I'm sure there's other parts of it that are really beautiful and quiet and stuff, but Bourbon Street and all of that, it lived up to its reputation. So
did you eat any gumbo? Daniel. Did you try gumbo?
I don't like gumbo. I mean, I had what do they call their sandwiches there? They have a specific name. I did have that, but I'm not into fish. You
didn't eat me neither, bro. Oh, you didn't eat crayfish or any of that shit, right?
No, I don't like. Crawdad. I'm not. I don't. Yeah, crawdad. I'm not into the. But there is. I can't think of it. Help me out, Daniel. What do you guys call the sandwiches? Like the guys in Jersey call them hoagies. South Philly calls them hoagies. Craig Velasquez. Have you ever been to Little Israel, also known as Borough Park? Craig, I am sad to say that my neighborhood of Bensonhurst, they're trying to change the names and the borders. I couldn't think of the word. And my old block, which is Bensonhurst to the fucking core, they're trying to say it's Borough Park now. It used to be south of 60th Street. Now they're trying to say it's south of 65th Street. But yes, Borough Park. I was lived right near there. I tell you though, do you see Jewish people live there?
That's what I was going to say.
They don't bother anybody.
Bro, I was in Bensonhurst, and all you saw was Hasidic Jews walking around.
Now it's
different now, right? Just like where I was from in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? This is where I'm from in the Bronx. Now I lived in a housing project in the Bronx, and now it's forget about it. It's savages.
Then
savages.
Neighborhoods have changed, but yes, Borough Park. I mean, I grew up. I went to FDR High School. I hung out in Gravesend Park, played fucking ball there, basketball. Got laid the first time in the softball field dugout at Gravesend Park in Borough Park. So when
Nice.
I see the series Gravesend with William DeMeo, I think about that night way back when in 1983 when I first got my cock inside some beautiful fucking tight holes.
So you hit a home run in the
I did. Very good. There you go.
on a baseball field. Joe hit a home run. He ran all the
I
bases.
hit a home run.
He got to
Oh.
first, second, and third.
I did it all. Little Palestine is my favorite part of New York. Where is that located? Yes.
Yeah, where the hell's
Since
that?
we're friends again now. You ran mid-show ads to get the pennies on RX yesterday. Listen,
What?
ads. That's the whole. What do you think? We do this for fucking fun? Yeah, I mean, Greg and I do it for fun, but we also do it for money. We like it. But you're gonna do like regular shows and bodybuilding coverage and stuff. I don't give a
Yeah, I
fuck
mean, you
how
gotta do what you
much.
gotta do.
I don't care how much I love sports, baseball, and all that. When I'm in the fucking press box, I'm working. I'm not doing it for fucking fun.
Dude,
It's
I
for
once
fucking
watched
money.
him. I was watching a Met game when I first met Joe. I was watching a Met game, and all of a sudden,
Oh, yeah.
they showed the reporters in a press box in Shea Stadium. This is in Shea Stadium, and I see
Yep.
Joe sitting there with a laptop right there. He was in the press box with the reporters, Joe. And you know what's funny? You guys should be asking Joe. Joe used to do the sports scene. The best shit you should be asking Joe is about the guys in the locker rooms in the football and baseball, where walking around with the shalongs hanging out. Didn't you say
Oh.
that was it Pedro Martinez or one
Pedro.
of them?
He's
They were
uncircumcised.
to throw
Yeah.
reporters in the naked fucking in the shalongs hanging. He
Huge.
was in the dugout.
Huge penis. Pedro was like this. Cazzone. It was. Hey guys, he's walking around. He all proud, swinging it left. I'd be doing the same thing if I had that fucking.
I'm Dominican, man. I'm Dominican. And he got
Pedro
the big
Martinez was very good. He was a great quote.
Dude,
He always
monster.
spoke to us.
I love
Always in a good mood. He's great on the the baseball, the panel.
Yes.
I love
Dude,
him and
I
David
love
Ortiz
Pedro
are
Martinez.
fantastic.
I love that guy. I hated him when he played against the Yankees because he was that good.
Yeah.
You don't hate a guy when he beats your team, you hate him until he becomes one of your guys. You know what I'm saying? Just like I hated Darryl Strawberry, and then all of a sudden Darryl Strawberry's a Yankee. I'm like, yeah, Darryl. You know what I mean?
Of course. Well, that's fans. Is this fake, Aaron? Musclehead, keep my husband's name out of EBS. Boston Lloyd wasn't an informant either. No, of course he wasn't. If this is the fake Aaron or not, this statement.
Oh,
is
that's not
factual.
Aaron. That's not Aaron.
But
Listen,
but
don't do
this-
that, guys. Don't do that.
whoever this is, that actually
not-
is true. I agree with this.
Yes, it's not, but it's not Aaron. So don't make believe
not
Aaron.
Aaron,
I
yeah.
already talked to Aaron. Aaron doesn't do any of these shows. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Aaron's a friend of mine. We talk to this day. My girlfriend could even be on the phone with her right now. I'm just telling you, it's not Aaron.
They're buddies.
It's Greg
Linda
still-
McCann. Greg still thinking about Julissa. Can you tell us what she meant to him during that time in his life and how did she pay? Well, we were just kind of talking about this while we were getting ready to start the show a little bit.
Yes.
Anyway. So,
I do
you-
still think of Jalissa. She's all over my arms and shit. I mean, I can't, I think about it. I mean, I'm with another, I'm with Lucia now. And I've
You're
been
with
with
Lucia
Lucia.
now, but yeah.
We're in our 19 years, But the thing is that, I'll always think of Jalissa, and she died. It was horrible.
yeah.
But, there's nothing I could do. I have dreams sometimes she's still alive, but there's nothing I could do, but I'm with Lucia.
Yeah.
Lucia's my girl,
She is very good. She's a great person.
But if you want to know,
fucking old.
I'm going to let the cat out of bag here really fast. If you want to know about Jalissa, and there's a wicked story. Some of you guys have heard everything, but I'm going to put it in the next issue of Muscle
Good.
Sport Matt. Okay. So
Good segue.
if you guys want to hear, and I'm going to give you a little hint. It's a ghost story. And Joe and I love it. Joe and I would love to do a ghost hunting thing with Joe, where we actually videotape it. You guys could watch. Maybe we'll do a live feed or something. Me and Joe will figure it all out.
We are trying to do these things. Yep. And then I actually have some wheels in motion. I was telling Greg a little bit before the show, but the next issue will kick off this ghost hunting thing. I got a really cool story from fucking Country Ray, Big Ray Mosley, about Gold's Gym being haunted. And I put together a real fucking, I'm into the monster comic and that type of stuff. I had a few issues with that kind of theme, and this is another one, but a ghost one. And the story is about Gold's Gym being haunted. I'm actually getting a part of that story is going to have a column from a real paranormal investigator that you people have seen on TV, and I'm not going to say who it is until it's in there because I don't want to. That's not.
It's going to be.
It's
going to be
awesome.
a great issue. Now, some of you may say there's no such thing as ghosts. I don't know. All I know is
I don't know either.
I have a wicked ghost story, and I'd love to find out because I believe it shows if they're really, that life can't just listen. Every one of us is like a thumbprint. We're different than everybody. You have your own soul. Yeah. Joe has a brother, right? And Joe and his brother are from the same mother, same father. They have this, basically their brain tissue, everything is exactly the same. The DNA is exact, yet they're two opposite people.
Opposite.
What makes us different is the soul, I think. You understand? We're all made of the same shit. But the thing is the soul. There's got to be a soul there. Otherwise, life is cruel. You understand? Like my mother was very charismatic. My mother was crazy. My mother was from the Bronx, was bad, was a crazy girl. You know what I mean? But where did all that personality go when she died? Did it just disappear into thin air? It's little molecules. I don't believe that she's a reincarnated. She's not an earthworm somewhere. She's not a little girl living in fucking, Botswana or some shit like that.
Oh, God. Jesus.
Yeah. I've, hunting lions on the African plains. But I believe that, like wherever it is, whatever heaven is, I don't think it's a sitting up in the clouds, but it's a different dimension or whatever, different. Regardless, all I'm saying is that I believe we have souls. And I do believe that like the ghost shit, there's too many people out there to have like stories that I know people with ghost stories that tell you shit that they're not liars, bro. And I've had two little instances with me. I'm going to give Joe the one. We'll put it in the magazine. I'm going to do the Jalissa one. But we'll see. It's a crazy story. It's fucking crazy.
That's why I said it's perfect time to put that in the column for the theme of the issue. So just be on the lookout for that. Po' boy, egregious. That's what the sandwiches are called in New Orleans.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
They're good. They're hot. They're nice. I apologize, Greg. I have to remember you said it one time. I don't. What was he? I don't forget what he was.
What did I say?
I don't remember. There's no apologies necessary on this show. There's
no apologizing in bodybuilding.
Greg, don't forget what I tell you all the time when you were a young man.
What was it? Remind me, Charlie.
Tell me again. What is this? Joe, hey, Raul, what's up? Joe, how's that special gentleman Jared Earls doing? Is he still a thought of this, man? Jared Earls is the guy who watches my Instagram live. He's a very nice young man. His flavor is he likes heavy set women, like very heavy set women. To each his own. I mean, I don't mind a pretty woman. Listen,
I like skinny, really skinny.
When I was a drunk single guy, I found myself with some women that I probably wouldn't even think about if I wasn't fucking blown out of my shoes. And I ate them out too. So I mean,
oh shit.
Jared likes. Listen, I see sometimes heavy set women. They look sexy sometimes. It depends on how the presentation is. So, but Jared is doing well. He was on a live about 3 weeks ago. Benson sounds like a place where rich guys get their wives porked by prime in the PMs. Skin showcase. I know you're just joshing. That is not the truth.
What happened? What is
Benson? Black guys sleeping with their wives. Not real. No. Charlie Arms, you are a legend, Mike James saying. It's an honor having you chat with us. Hope all is well.
Mike, switch back now to Charlie Arms and talk to yourself.
Oh, don't write. I'm not even, I said, I got to read these things before I click. And I apologize to Palumbo up front for even clicking on that and putting. I'm glad I noticed it quick. We don't talk about that kind of shit on any of shows that I do. And Greg, thank you, Mike James. The pleasure is all mine. Greg's old friend, a lot of my old friends don't reach out no more. Sounds like a way to feel.
Wait, what is he saying? I can't even see. That went too fast. What did he say? You could just
A
tell
lot
me.
of the old friends don't keep in touch. That's a good way for me to still feel in touch. Don't reach out no more. A lot of Charlie's
Oh, Charlie
lament
Arms
the
thing.
friends that don't
Oh, that was
call him back.
Charlie Arms, the fake
That
Charlie
was the
Arms.
yeah, it's Charlie Charlie Arm. They'll call him.
Charlie
Holy
Arm.
shit! So many people's chat are trolls making out there someone else. That's all right. Son of hey Nick, what's up, buddy? Happy I just moved to a new apartment. I can get my own mail. Can't wait to subscribe again. I wish it sounds spicy. Yeah, Nick, you're gonna love it. You're gonna definitely love it because we're gonna have some fucking broads in it too, as always. 100%. Yeah. You're one of our boys, CFQ. You watch the show every week. I live in Washington Heights, full of Syrian savages.
Syrian
That used to be when I worked there. That was
it's still very Dominican. It's very
it was
Dominican.
Dominican. Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Very Dominican. Washington
I
Heights.
worked there.
I used to be drug dealer there.
That was fucking wild there. That breaks my heart to hear Charlie Petrie yells. Arlene, we don't know if this is a joke. So I believe we have souls, but heaven, nah. I don't know. I want to believe in heaven because I want to think that my family members that have departed are in Paradiso, as they fucking call it.
I believe in heaven. I just don't believe to what you visual, like the way we think of heaven, the way we were taught, like it's up in the clouds.
Your wings.
I think it's a different dimension, so to speak.
St. Peter at the thing. Why did Lou Ferrigno sue his own family? That was the whole thing with the Ferrigno store with the weights.
It's just, in a nutshell, it was because that's why Andy Ferrigno came to me. I hooked up Andy with National Enquirer. So we got the story in the National Enquirer. I put it in Muscular Development. And in a nutshell, it was just the fact that Andy and his father and the family ran Ferrigno Barbell. Okay. And Lou basically was upset saying, you're capitalizing on the on the Ferrigno name because I made the Ferrigno. Like they think I own Ferrigno Barbell and I don't. I'm not making any money off this. So you should. Meanwhile, that's the
name.
Yeah, I mean, if your father could, capitalize on something, the name that he gave you, you'd be happy about that. But, it's a sour grape thing. I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't want to.
Yeah, it's their own business. Whatever the ill will is, it's none of our business. I'm retiring this page now, Greg. I love you really. So yes, man is retiring.
Okay,
this
yes,
page.
man. We'll take that.
Don't retire the visual. Watch it.
He'll be back under another name.
Yeah, did Greg and Charlie have a falling out? I don't understand why you guys goofing them over that. Nothing is serious on this show.
This is not the real Charlie Arms. Charlie Arms is like fucking 80-something years old. He's not. This is not the real Charlie Arms. He doesn't go online. I can tell you now. I know. But Charlie Arms, I didn't hang out with the guy. You know what I mean? I trained in a gym, and he was a monster.
Yeah,
when I was young. I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got around turning 65. So and he's got to be. He's got to be like 81, 82, something like that. He's in his 80s.
Well, we hope wherever he is, he's doing well.
Yes.
How many home runs do you think Aaron Judge would have hit if he played in steroid era? Would he have used steroids, though, Nick? That's the thing. He's such a natural, great athlete. He may have decided.
Dude, he's already missed every year except for last year and whatever. He's been hurt a lot. Look at the year that he hurt himself against the Dodgers. He was on pace to really explode. He would have won the MVP that year too. You know what I mean? He would have won the MVP like 3-4 years in a row. I mean, the man is just a monster. The only thing I don't like Yankee fan, he didn't do it in the fucking World Series. But then again, Ohtani didn't get hurt. Ohtani got hurt. I think
Dodgers team is
brutal.
That Dodgers team is so well disciplined that you have to throw strikes because they will not. If you nibble, they walk. So now you got a
superstar at every position. Every position.
Look at this kid Ed in this second
base. Look at fucking Freddie Freeman and fucking Mookie Betts. God, why, dude? Why did the Red Sox? Look, I'm not a Red Sox fan at all. I'm a Yankee fan. You can't be a Red Sox. But why did they let guys go? Like, they got rid of Xander Bogaerts. They got rid of everybody. The only one that they got rid of that was smart was Nomar Garciaparra because he fell in love with Mia Hamm, and they were like, even the players were like, "You fucking pussy." He wouldn't even train with the team. He'd go out in the outfield and stretch with her. He went from being like a superstar to not even being able to play anymore. Do you remember that?
He won when he went to the Cubs. It was like a completely different fucking player. Yeah, he went from an MVP to he was hitting like 230 in
I'll tell you.
in Chicago. He was
I'll
just
tell you what.
fucking bad.
The best two hitters that killed me as a as a Yankee fan, the best 1-2 punch, the Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig had to be Ortiz and Manny Ramirez. Those two fucking guys were bro.
Yeah,
You couldn't. Those two guys alone in that order were
lefty righty. Yeah.
Oh my God,
righty.
Joe.
Yep.
You know what? Listen, I got to give David Ortiz props. Even Manny Ramirez. Those fucking guys hit home runs. I'd love to see a stat. Who hits home runs in the 8th and 9th inning? Because that's when those guys would really go crazy. You know, a lot of times
they would kill you.
When you're up 10-0, all of a sudden some guy pops a home run. But what those guys did it. How many times did David Ortiz take the game away from the Yankees? And how many times
Ortiz with the 3-0 when the Yankees blew 3-0 lead in the CS? That was Ortiz's home run.
There's no comeback better than that. The Yankees had them beaten every game except for the last game, and they knew I knew they were done after it happened the second game, after they lost that second game again. You know what I'm saying? And the momentum, you could see it swung the other way. But David Ortiz, that fucking guy would hit home runs in the 8th and 9th inning. And against the Yankees, he's got to be I think he's the greatest fucking DH ever. That fucking guy is unbelievable.
And then, but the Yankees got, you have the Aaron Boone series.
Aaron Boone is a different kind of player.
So they had a heartbreaker with the 3-0, and then they broke the Boston's heart. Greg, I got to punch out because, like I told you,
we got to go
work tonight. So I just want to thank our boys over at Swol Lyfe. SwolLife.com.
And I'm gonna take a little shred right now because I need to get get my cuts going on here. Get a little harder.
Shred. Get shredded so he can go to the beach and show his assless chaps. He can wear them on Chocha Beach in the Bronx.
Bro, guys, look up Andrew Crispo, the art dealer. That's the guy who fucking blew the art to the
he can't sit anymore. He has this, all the pictures you see him, he's standing. But guys, we will be back. The Swole Life presents the Gregg and Joe Show Wednesday, right here once again, Sport TV. Go to SwolLife.com, and then you can save 15%, Gregorio, by putting MSM.
And 15. Yes, man. Come to the good side here. Come to the dark side. We're the dark side, really.
We're all one big happy gay family over here.
Yes, we are.
Guys, thanks for watching this week's show. We will see you guys in 1 week.
Yes.
Take it easy.
Be ready.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. Love you guys.